Who told you that hosting had to feel like this? Somewhere along the way, you picked up this belief that having an event this good just means that you have to pay the price of a lot of stress. And you've been paying that price ever since. Today, we're looking at where that belief came from and what the stress is actually telling you. So let me tell you where I picked it up from, and it didn't even actually start with events. I'm a millennial, so I came out working with laptop at home and my phone with my job on it as well. Constantly being pinged, constantly expected to answer quickly. And I know a lot of other generations like to think of us as being lazy, but honestly, I think we are probably the most hardest working generation because we're the ones who've never been able to clock out. There were mornings where I vividly remember brushing my teeth with one hand while also texting and responding to emails on the other. And I genuinely thought that was just what life was, what work was. Everybody else around me was doing something similar. So by the time I got into events where things start to intensify the closer that event date gets, I already had that belief installed, that stress was part of good work and that meant I was doing things right. And everybody around me was stretched too. So being stretched read as being normal. And every stressful event went well, which is why it looked like stress was part of just being part of an event that went well. And that's the trick. The success came from the work. The exhaustion came from something else entirely. But they showed up together, and I paid the price for both in thinking that both of them were the cost. I'm gonna be straight with you because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that planning events is relaxing. I had a manager explain our work in a way that really stuck with me, which is that as event planners, we are very project-based, which meant that when there were no events going on, things were quieter, it was calmer. It might have even sometimes looked to our colleagues as though we weren't doing anything. A lot of people misunderstood what it was that we did. But when we did have an event coming up, we were on. And the closer that event got, the more on we were. The weeks leading up to it and on site, we were constantly on the go. I'm talking up until 2 in the morning and then back up again at 6 a.m. to start doing checks and get the day started. That's real. That's the job and that's intense. And then it's over. And afterwards, I would take some time off to reset and regroup the way that you would with any big project. So there is a real price to being able to pull off an event at this level, and it's effort. The decisions, the hours, the care, and the intense stretch that's leading up to the event. All of those items are the price, and it's something I pay over again. The part I'm questioning though is everything that's on top of that. And if you want to see what's sitting on top of your event, I made something for that. I have a free assessment called the Event Pulse Check. It takes about 5 minutes and it shows you where your event stands, what's solid and what's stretched, and what areas could use a little more attention. You can find it down in the description. Okay, so here's what happened to me towards the end of my corporate career. I worked both the retreats team as well as with some of the local events teams for the firm. We had multiple events teams in different locations. Our teams kept getting smaller, and yet we were expected to pull off the same amount of events, if not more so, with the same amount of people, same standards and same quality, and yet we had fewer staff members to actually create them. For the retreats, it was basically just my manager and I pulling off retreats of 200 to 300 people, conferences of almost 1,000 by ourselves. Prior to my leaving, when I had first started, we had full teams of support as well as support from additional management. And I'll be honest, even with those team members and having a full support team, we did still have late nights. And I just want to make that clear because I don't want to say that just because you have a large team, events are easy. There will still be late nights, but they're bearable because you're able to spread that work out. Since we had enough people, we were able to get the work done quickly and go to bed much earlier than we did towards the end of my term. And because we went to bed earlier, we didn't have to wake up super early the next day to dig ourselves out of the work that we weren't able to get to the night before. We were still doing the same events, same standards, and same me. What changed was what was underneath us. And that's the thing. If the stress is really the price of the event, it would have cost the same either way, and yet it didn't. Now, there's a reason this belief has never budged, no matter how tired you've gotten. 3 reasons, actually. The first one is that everybody confirms it. Everyone you know who's hosting is tired too. So stress just looks like the default because nobody else is modeling anything differently. The second is that it keeps working. You've never had an event fail while you're stressed, so you always pull it off, so the stress just feels like it's a necessary part of the process. Like it's part of what's making this whole thing work. And then the third one is the real one. If it didn't have to be this hard, what even were the past 5 years all about? That's a genuinely uncomfortable question. It's just easier to believe that it's hard rather than to admit that you've just been overdoing it. So then you end up defending the thing that's draining you, which is why no amount of rest advice has touched this. Like you can take the whole weekend off and that belief is still going to be sitting there somewhere in the back of your mind. So the next event goes exactly the same way. So if depletion isn't the price of the event, where is it coming from? Like I said, events come with real stress of their own. There's no pretending and getting around that. But that wearing you down kind of stress, that background hum that follows you home, you can usually trace this back to 3 places. 1, a decision that's still open, something that you haven't decided yet, and so it's still lingering in the back of your mind. And you think about it every single day, it remains undecided. You think about it while you're brushing your teeth. You think about it while you're in the shower. You think about it late at night. A finished decision takes up no space at all. An open one is going to continue bugging you daily. 2 is an answer that only exists with you. And there's nothing wrong with the answer itself, it's just that it hasn't been written down somewhere. So every time somebody needs that answer, it costs you a conversation. And you multiply that by the number of people and the number of days leading up to the event, that's a lot of time. And 3 is work that only you can do because you know all the pieces, or you have all the pieces. Again, the work itself isn't hard. It's just that parts of it live in only your inbox and in your head. And so handing it off to someone else would just take longer than if you were to do it yourself. Those 3 things are what your recovery week is actually paying for. Not the event, but the gaps that your effort was covering. And the useful part of that is that you can work backwards from it. So next time when you get that feeling where your stomach just drops and it's unclear, check against these 3. More than likely it's one of those 3 things we just mentioned. For instance, you wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about the seating plan. That's an open decision because you haven't decided on the seating yet. And it's going to keep waking you up until you finally sit down and make a decision. Or your VA asks you a simple question and you instantly get irritated. But that's an answer that genuinely sits with you. And she has no other place to go to get the answer. Or you keep moving the same task forward week after week. And you can't explain why you keep avoiding it. That's usually the third one because it means having to gather pieces from a couple different places in order to put it all together. The hard part there is the gathering. So the next time you get that feeling, don't just push through it. Go look at what it's pointing at and fix that instead. And there's one more cost in here that I don't think you've thought about because it doesn't necessarily have to do specifically with event week. If you expect every event to wipe you out the week afterwards, then you're probably only going to book as many events that you can afford to recover from. And you've probably already made some of those calls without even really thinking about it. Like the second event you decided not to book this year. The guest list that you kept smaller than you actually wanted it to be. That long stretch you left in between the events, just in case. Even your pricing has probably been affected by it. So the belief isn't just costing you sleep because you made every single one of those calls one at a time. And not once did you actually sit down and decide to shrink your business. It just happened. So here's what hosting at this level actually costs. Real work, real decisions, real care. An intense stretch leading up to the event, and yes, sometimes some late nights. What it never required is weeks of running on no sleep, or the dread, or ending up so wrecked that you needed a full week to recover yourself. Your standards should stay exactly where they are. I'm not asking you to lower a single one. I want you to look at everything you pulled off while trying to cover those gaps alone. Now close them and see what actually hosting at your level actually feels like. So if your stress is pointing at missing pieces, then the obvious question next is, what are those pieces? There's a short list of things that actually need to get locked down in those last 2 weeks leading up to your event. It's how professional teams make those events look so peaceful and calm on the outside. It's 5 things, and most of them are shorter than you'd expect. That's on your screen right now. Go ahead and click it.